Surani, what about you?
For me, actually, I'm not too surprised at the caliber of the staff or people that we have in Sri Lanka. I think we're top-notch. But what does worry me is the confidence and the fact that we are not very assertive. And therefore, that's really tough for us to compete globally because of that.
Probably when you compare around the region, we are not assertive enough. Though we are very cultural and...
It's confidence and the assertiveness.
Can't agree more. Surani, with my next question. This is about, again, culture. As you roll around different industries, you tend to carry some of your best practices to the new place. And you strongly believe sometimes it works. But the people in that setup may not be very, very welcoming to a change that you bring in from outside. The question here is, as you move across different industries, say from FMCG to banking to hospitality or whatnot, what is your advice on carrying forward best practices without clashing with the new business model or the existing culture of the new place that you step into?
I think the first thing that's important is that you just can't do a cut and paste. That does not work. I actually, every time I change industry, and I've changed a million industries, by the way, is that I go back into a learning mode. Because unless I really understand the sector I'm supporting, I can't really support. What worked for me in the banking sector will not work in the FMCG sector. Currently, I'm at LSEG, and I think, okay, fine, I've got a banking background, and I thought, okay, great, you know, it's a cookie cutter. It's not. So I think first and foremost, understand the organization's culture, the maturity, and also the need. Sometimes you do get hired saying, hey, we want this change agent. We want you to push through change and create the culture that everyone wants of. They paint a lovely picture, but you go into the organization and the organization is not quite ready. So sometimes you put your brake and you start the change process. So my personal advice is that, yes, there's a best practice in one industry. It doesn't always become a best practice in the other. Learn the organization, even in the same sector. Company to company is completely different. So learn the culture, learn the organization, really understand what the chairman said at the interview versus the reality. What is it? And then you tailor-make your solution for that.
Understood. I think it's very true, right? Sometimes you look for something in the job vacancy, you are in a different world in the interview, but when you get into the organization, what you see there is not probably the exact same thing that you were expecting. But yeah, when you're there, now you've got to do the job. How do you do it from there? It's like you rightly said, go back to square one, probably unlearn something that most of us fail to do. We want to learn more and more, but some of the times we also have to pick and choose areas that we need to unlearn, take it out of our system and start from scratch. Probably if you do that, then you said you've crossed 1 million industries. Even if you do 2 million, it should be okay as long as you're willing to unlearn and start from scratch. Thank you very much. So I'm going to go on to my next question. Let's try and keep the answers to about 2 minutes. Guess the gist out in this round. In the rest of the questions, Surani, you've been in many industries, like you said, 1,000 million industries, and you've probably picked up some strategy from everywhere. What I'm going to ask you is, what is that one of your strategies that stands out after your cross-industry exposure as tools or as strategies that helps you attract top talent and keep them? Tell us what's working.
Okay, actually I have two. One is the brand. Whichever the industry you are in, if an individual in the market feels that is the organization I want to go to, so you have to create a brand. I'm not talking about a brand in the marketing sense, but that niche, snob value, blue chip, or whatever you want to call it, but that attraction. The second part of it is culture, again, from industry to industry. You compete, but in the last couple of industries, I've actually competed across industries as well, and sometimes more than money, it has always been culture.
Fantastic. So I think that is something that stands out as special in terms not only of hiring, but also keeping the top